Shane Filan, welcome back. Nice to have you here. Because of course it's 1/5 of Westlife, Shane notched up 14 UK number ones, thanks to hits like You Raise Me Up, Flying Without Wings, selling something, 4 million records, 50 million records?
It changes from day to day, but yeah,
a lot,
around that, yeah.
A lot of records.
A lot, yeah.
And if memory serves me right, 2 Brit Awards?
We did, yeah. We had a few awards on the mantelpiece.
So you're in a group of 5, and you win a Brit Award. What, you get 1 award, or do they give you 5?
We used to get 5 made up, because we used to, like, really want to fight over it, and obviously it's a Brit Award or, you know, MTV
Did they make
award,
them up for you, or did you have to...
You'd get them made up afterwards, yeah.
Is that right?
You have to get them specially made.
Okay.
But it's a cool thing to have. Obviously, you want to have your own Brit Award if you're going to win one.
It's
so
too right.
We're not going to share it and cut it into 5
And where do you keep yours?
I have it at home, just on the mantelpiece.
It could have been like the class hamster. You could have said, Shane, you have it this week.
We
you
were
look
thinking
after
that.
it, and then you could
then it
rotate
dies.
it.
We were thinking that, and I think Brian got 1 award, but he kind of kept it for about 3 years, and he didn't give it to anyone else. So
can I ask you, in all seriousness, do they mean much to you when you've sold that amount of records?
Of course, yeah. No, without a doubt. I think, you know, obviously number ones and stuff like that was something that was a big part of our career, and it was, you know, very exciting when you got a number 1. You know, I remember getting the first one. It was just incredible, because you didn't expect it, and then you get a load in a row. But I think when you get an award, yeah, it's pretty cool, especially like a Brit Award or, you know, Irish Music Award or whatever it was. You know, we got a few, so it was nice to get them.
Okay, now of course Westlife went their separate ways a couple of years back. You've waited until comparatively recently to launch your solo career, wasn't it?
Yeah.
The album.
Yeah, the album came out in November.
Me, that was back in
November. So yeah, no, well, I took my time, I suppose. I wanted to, I suppose, after Westlife, you know, there'd been 14 years of our life, you know, just flat out. So I wanted a bit of time, I suppose, with the family, just to chill, get my head together.
And it is. I always say this, but from the boy bands that I've known over the years, I mean, it's full on 7 days a week.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy, yeah, because we did 12 albums in 14 years. So it's pretty like every November we literally had an album out. It was nearly like if we didn't have, people were like, you know, we didn't do an album one year, and everyone was like, what's happened? You know, so, but we were in a great position, you know, we had a great fan base, we had some great songs, and we worked very hard though. We worked really hard, traveled the world, and yeah, I suppose, you know, it's just, looking back at the whole thing now, it was pretty amazing, the whole thing.
Now, the second single to be culled from the album is called Knee Deep in My Heart, and that was released on Sunday and written by yourself.
Yeah, I got a chance to write on the album for the first time, which was lovely.
Quite a folksy sound as well.
It is, yeah. The album is very kind of folk, country, pop.
Yeah. Is that where you're... I mean, it's interesting because...
Being Irish, it's hard not to have folk, I think, in your blood, and it's something I really wanted to put in my music. And growing up in Ireland too, country music, I'm a huge country music fan, like Garth Brooks, and my dad loved Patsy Cline and Jim Reeves and stuff like that growing up. So I wanted to kind of get that in, and I suppose now it's quite suitable to what's on radio, which is great. Yeah. But yeah, I went to Nashville too to write most of the album. So that definitely inspired, especially this song. This song is very, very.
So the video's got quite an Irish flavour as well, even if it was not shot not too far from our London studio.
Yeah.
And it's also, keep an eye, it's chock full of Shane's family and friends. Have a look at this.
You left your fingerprints all over my soul, and I caught you out red-handed, knee deep in my heart, when I was upside down, spinning round and round and round in the dark. Act so sweet, but you're guilty as charged. I caught you out red-handed, knee deep in my heart.
In that clip there, you seem to be playing like a wedding singer.
Basically, yeah, I'm singing at a friend's wedding is the idea of the video.
Has that ever actually happened? Have you been asked to perform at any wedding?
Not at a friend's wedding, but I have sang at my brother's wedding. I sang at years ago, but like this was like when I was 12 or 13. But I haven't done it since actually at a wedding.
And I'm right in thinking that everybody in that video, and it's a great vid, apart from the bride and groom, are known to you, family, friends.
Yeah, most of them. The director asked me, you know, it's going to be a wedding, so we'd like to get like a natural vibe, like that you're actually at a wedding. Would you mind having your friends in it? And so I said to all my mates, would you want to come over from Ireland? And literally they were like, when's the flight? You know, they were loving it. And then my kids are in it, and Gillian's in it, and then even Patrick's teacher's in it, and people that I just know. I said, look, do you want to be in the video? I want to get people in it that I know, because it was funny. On the day, you definitely had that little vibe of just...
You can feel it.
You feel like you're just at a little party with your mates. We have even had Guinness, and we had a few pints during it and stuff. So it turned out exactly what the director wanted. It's nice footage for the kids as well.
Did anyone actually get married?
No, the two people that I didn't know was the bride and groom. So, and they didn't even know each other on the day, but they played a really good part, in fairness. Like, as I said after, gee, you must know each other. They go, no, we just met today.
Good acting.
It was very good acting. But yeah, I'm really happy with the video, though.
Don't blame you.
It's a cool video.
Something for you, Larry?
But you must be, I mean, that's a big group of people, but still you're on your own. You're not the rest of Westlife there.
It is, yeah.
Is that weird?
It is weird, yeah. It's something I'm getting used to. Each song I do and each performance I do, each video I do. The first kind of few weeks when I started back in August, September, it was pretty weird the first few weeks, even just being on TV shows and stuff like that. But it's funny, I think, how you relax into it a lot. You come out of your shell, and because you have to, you got to be who you are and be true to yourself.
Absolutely.
And
There was that documentary a while back about Take That, when they filmed Robbie Williams. Whether he was going to rejoin Take That, and it was really sad looking at Robbie on his own, and when he saw how much fun his mates were having back together.
Oh, totally, yeah. I saw that. I saw that, and I was sad that Robbie didn't turn up at the end of that first documentary.
He was probably back at home counting the £80 million he got paid for his solo career.
That's probably
over the bump.
But look,
but you wouldn't go back together just because you missed your mates.
I think if we were able to do anything again, it would be because we probably just missed it and had a laugh.
Because Kieran, I spoke to him in the jungle. He said the same thing, that no one's ruling out Westlife getting back together.
Oh, definitely. I think it's something that
grew up together,
you can never rule out something like that. We had an amazing career together, and someday I'm sure we will possibly do something again. But
would you go into the jungle?
I wouldn't last it, man. Honestly, I wouldn't even jump out of the helicopter at the start. I don't know how he did that. Like, Cian, it's funny because
he has no fear.
Cian is like proper though. He always said he wanted to do it, and even in the band he goes, I have to do that some year. No matter what, I'm going to do it. I want to do that. It's like a tick the box kind of thing in his life.
Very driven.
And he did great. He's no fear at all. He'd do any of that kind of stuff. He loves it.
Any reality TV at all, Big Brother? Any of it?
I don't know. You never know.
Nicky did Strictly.
Nicky did Strictly. If something came out on sport, or if there was some sort of
splash.
I'm a golfer.
Sport.
If there was, I'm a golfer. I'm a golfer. Get me out of here. maybe I love golf. So something like that, maybe.
Okay. Listen, great to have you with us this morning.
Thank you for having
likewise, you at home. Got a cracking show for you this morning.
For a while.
But Shane picked up on it straight away. It's just a short film. It's a small sample group, but there were about 1 in 20.
1 in 20, and I'd probably say that's probably exactly how many people would be doing it in that percentage, but. It seems like a lot of money. I agree, it's a good point.
That's £130 a month.
To a certain degree, if you could put a little bit aside, without a doubt, it's not a bad idea at all. But, if it is being invested in stocks and shares and stuff like that, is there a guarantee that when you get to, is it 65 or...
well, 68 it is.
Is there a guarantee of a certain amount?
I had an endowment mortgage.
Or could it be taken, or half, do you lose a lot of it at the end if it doesn't go right?
I had an endowment mortgage. Did you have an endowment mortgage?
Yeah.
We're of that generation, and I lost money on my endowment. I didn't get the big lump sum I was supposed to have. I think absolutely right. We have to take the savings seriously. All of us have to take that.
Absolutely.
But I just don't think...
Well, I took advice a few years ago, and I took out 2 ISAs, probably about 4 or 5 years ago, and I looked recently at the value of those ISAs, and they've gone down. So we can't win. So maybe
it is. It's
a
tricky thing, like property as well. Even for me, like I invested all my money in property and lost every penny. So. Property, pensions, stocks and shares, they're all... Sorry?
That's a warning, isn't it?
I think it is, and especially when you're younger, people are afraid. I think most of them people on that VT look afraid because they don't know about it and they don't know exactly what they should do.
People are afraid. I think everybody knows they've got to put something aside for their pension. I didn't start until 4 years ago because I couldn't afford it. Didn't think I could afford it.
And I think people are afraid. I think people are afraid.
When I was 21, Screech, I love you.
It's the whole thing, I think, as well for young people. Maybe it's just being educated on it because they think, well, if I put it away now, what happens if I need it in 4 years, if I have a baby, or if my kids go to college, I can't touch it for 40 years. This kind of stuff.
It makes me feel quite grateful that David Cameron hasn't gone down the route of minimum price per unit for alcohol, because now we can drink ourselves into oblivion and try and forget our old age cometh.
There you go.
Maybe that's the thinking behind the idea, I don't know. Shane for the headlines. I'm afraid it's a depressing or sad story to start.
Sad story, yeah, massive story, obviously, over the last month. In the Mirror today, Schumacher hopes are fading. This is basically an expert. He's not on the doctor's team that's looking after him. It's a guy that said he's been in a coma now for 4 weeks. It's a professor of neurology. Every day, every week, in a coma, chance of decline in situations.
Right.
It's basically not.
So it's not.
He's saying
it's not from his personal doctors. This is essentially speculation.
This is speculation, but it's obviously a great headline. But and I think it's obviously a very sad story. But he's basically in a coma. But he's been chemically induced coma, so he's been put in the coma because the doctors think that's the best way of him,
To allow
the
his
best
brain to
chance of him,
recover.
for his brain to survive and stuff in general. So
People
do
can
come
get
back?
better. I know
Yeah.
somebody who had a terrible car crash, motorbike crash, and he was put into a medical coma, and he is now being brought out of it, and it appears he's okay.
yeah.
Well, let's hope the same is...
Yeah, totally. It's a very sad story, obviously. He's a Formula 1 driver his whole life, you know, and then he goes skiing and bangs his head, and obviously...
Incredible, isn't it?
It's unbelievable.
It's
Hopefully
irony.
he will recover, but this is what this doctor thinks anyway. It's not
Okay.
looking good for him.
Okay.
Next up in the Times, this is another very sad story. A boy of 16 died after taking ecstasy at a rave. A 16-year-old boy. He said to his mother before he went out, "I love you, Mum. I promise I won't die."
As a kind of joke. This is
I
a
think
joke
so,
you had
but it
with-
was something that he always said to her when he was leaving. In other words, I'll behave, or I'll look after
Don't worry
myself,
about
or
me,
don't worry
yeah.
about me, Mum, I'll come back in one piece kind of thing. But yeah, he died after taking ecstasy, which is...
I think some of the other papers are reporting that it was the first time he'd ever taken the drug as well.
But is ecstasy safe?
Yeah.
No.
You know, in general?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
I mean,
Okay.
would you drink a bottle that was mixed?
Yeah, maybe.
What else we got, Shane?
Okay, in the Sun, a $3 million bill to phone the taxman. Basically, this is Brits calling premium rate phone lines to get tax credits have forked out more than $3 million. So when you ring up the taxman to find out, you know, where you stand or what your bill is or whatever, they're on hold for a long time. The people. So 2.7 million was for people that actually got through, but people that actually just couldn't wait or whatever and hung up the phone was 300,000. So it's pretty. 300,000 basically spent by
Premium rate phone number, isn't it?
who
for
just
the
hung up
taxman?
after failing to get through to anybody. So you're getting charged, and it's £3 million in total, which is
Nice money if you can get in on that one.
pretty crazy. Next up in the Telegraph. This is shocking as well. 20% of kids admit to missing school one day in the last 2 weeks. So people have been asked. They did a survey and they've asked a lot of kids, "Have you missed any school in the last 2 weeks?" And basically 20% of them said yes, they missed a day, as in they skipped school.
And the British rate is higher than a lot of other developed nations,
Yeah.
isn't it? And that's why they're saying that
I'm amazed
our
because schools
education
now
is...
have to publish the attendance rates. And when you get your kids' school reports, certainly at secondary school, one of the measures that you get is attendance. And
Does
if
that not
it
mean you're there at the
drops
morning?
below-
You don't have to be there in the afternoon?
Usually there is morning and afternoon
Yeah.
sign in, and certainly if my kid isn't there, I get texts
Yeah,
saying
yeah,
your son
same
did not
here.
arrive today. They're really hot on it now, I think.
Yeah, it's 1 in 5 teenagers. But I don't know if that's
It's
I
one
don't
in
think it's
five
every.
teenagers.
I
Do you
don't
know
think
what
it's
it is
every
in
2
China?
weeks.
Did you skip school?
No.
No,
never.
me neither. Me
Never,
neither.
not even one day in 15 years.
Me neither, actually. No,
Yeah.
no, never
Is that because of the parents?
Do you know,
Because in my
primarily-
situation, my
primarily-
parents would not stand it at all.
All
If
my
I-
I
friends
would have been killed by my parents. They
Yeah.
would have it's just a no-no.
All
I'm
my
the one
friends
that
were at
sends-
school, so I quite like going to school to see my mates.
I'm the one that sends my children to school. Lots of parents do, and then the school sends them home. The slightest sniffle. I sent them
We're
to
getting on
school.
to flu in a moment. Let's have your last one, please, Shane.
Yeah, this is it's kind of a funny story. There's a riot basically. This 99p store did a half price sale.
Okay.
So,
Half price.
so basically, a 99p store had a sale,
Right.
which is funny, and it sparked a riot because basically there was queues of people coming to this big store. Everything was literally sold out. There's pictures here of all the shelves just cleared out. But then the owner of the store was getting such a good reaction that he put everything back up when people were getting to the tills and stuff, and he changed his mind. So he put it back up to 99p. So it literally caused a riot. There's police, there's pictures of police outside and angry customers outside going, "You said it was a sale," and he
I'll
changed
tell you what,
his
there's
mind.
also, in one of the other papers, there's a picture, I think it's the man who invented Poundland.
Yes.
His new mansion, he's done
His
rather well for
£5
himself.
million mansion, no
Yes,
less.
very
Simple.
nice.
Now, I went to my first ever Poundland last year. Love it.
Yeah?
Love it. You can get I've never been to one before. You can actually buy a very well-known fizzy drink for 17 pence. Boom! Oh my God! I bought 4.
Does it say not to be sold separately? You know when you get that on the top of the can, these are not to be... I wonder though when you actually buy, when you buy a 6-pack of whatever drink or whatever, and it's a fizzy drink or whatever, but it says not to be sold separately along the top. It kind of worries me a little bit. Why would you not sell it? What's wrong with it?
Well, I guess it's all to do with price control, I think, isn't it? Yeah, I think it's official. Anyway,
Okay, I take your word for it.
But I'm not going into 99p shops and going, how much is that? We'll forget 2.
250 what?
Right,
But,
Larry, what have you got?
Well, I'm going to start with the real.
Of that, like, because it's so, you know, iPhones, iPads.
I know.
Kids are so.
It's a
addicted
different
to
world,
it.
yes.
Even my 3-year-old boy, like, and my 5-year-old, like, or 4-year-old actually today is his birthday today. But the two of them are like, literally, can I have your phone, Daddy? Can I have your phone? And they'd be flicking just games. I'd have games on my phone, but they'd be like, literally, I'd have to take it off them.
Yeah.
I had Sunday lunch with some friends, and they got an 8-month-old. You can imagine how much fun I had. 8-month-old, and they said they've already given up trying to stop the 8-month-old grabbing the TV remote control in their phones. At 8 months, they said, and these are pretty smart parents. They just said, it's just, you cannot stop them.
Yeah, it's funny. Even like, you know, your passcode in your phone. Like when my little fella was 2, he was doing it. Bum, 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 ship, slide
It's
on the
incredible.
iPhone.
It's just saying that some of their friends, slightly older tots, can pick up, you know, a tablet computer, and they can go all the way through, get to the iPlayer, search through the iPlayer, find the kiddies' programs, sit down and do it all on their own.
But now, I mean, my sister's.
You hide them even. They'll
That's
find
it.
them.
You can't do it.
You
No.
plug it in upstairs.
We
and
got,
they go.
okay.
It
Food for
could
thought.
take 2 months.
Yeah.
That's the problem, though, isn't it? Like,
That's
you
the
know?
problem. In the meantime, you think, I'm too ill to go to work. And then you lose your job, and then you're unemployed, and then you're watching me again. Hello. One more thing from you. Let's go to you, Stephen.
Okay, great. Okay, I'm starting with the Daily Mail.
Page.
Did
But
it
there we
ever
go.
come to his head, the figure?
No.
It didn't come to his head.
Did it
not?
It didn't
At
come
all?
to his- No,
Oh,
but and
okay.
also under criticism was.
Years ago.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
Okay, PR disaster.
That's the way guys maybe think, though.
I think
that's
they
the way-
do.
That's the way a lot of guys would think. As you said, that guys might boast about it, whereas girls wouldn't talk about
I
how
think
many
girls
partners
do.
they've
I
had or
think-
whatever.
I think they do know, because there is a massive. I mean, you know, when their kids go to mixed schools now, they're friends. I see my son is friends with girls in a way that I don't remember my brothers having friends who were girls. I think things have changed.
Oh, definitely they've changed. They've definitely changed.
My concern is that we flipped quite a bit too far in the opposite direction. So actually, women will be criticised for not putting out now, as opposed to being criticised
that's
for putting out, because then she must be frigid.
But is the headlines more the fact that the lads in there are just creating better headlines at the moment in the Big Brother
But they're
house?
negative, you know.
If the girls were creating the
love
same
that.
headlines, would they be, you know, like papers still sell with women, you know, women still sell magazines more, I think, and stuff like that. If it's a girl in a bikini or a girl in the newspaper or whatever, whereas a guy wouldn't be on page 3. That hasn't changed.
And the interesting thing is you can sell women's magazines to women with a woman on the cover, and you can sell men's magazines you can sell with a woman on the cover. You can sell to both women.
Pictures
and men.
of women still sell more
Yeah.
when it comes to
Yes.
magazines and things.
Now,
The
Larry,
stories are changing.
Larry said she doesn't really buy it. Doesn't buy into the idea that women have on average 8 sexual partners. I think she thinks that there's a lot more going on than that. But you actually met your wife when you were about 13, right?
Yeah, when I first met her, yeah, so 18.
So
yeah.
you know, a more traditional.
It depends. Yeah, it is very traditional, but
Yeah.
it depends on each person. But you're right. You know, as kids growing up now, maybe they are open to talking about it more, and maybe they are. You know, maybe it does happen more. But you know, I don't know. Maybe I'm just traditional and whatever. You know, but it's interesting.
Okay, I'd argue that
Why people watch the shows? They're very popular.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're very popular.
They're probably the most popular shows.
I'd be very interested to find out from the young guys who watch that show what they think of the girls and the guys
But
in
it's
there.
probably more
And I think the guys will go, yeah, look at that guy, he's getting all these girls, and look at the girls, they're sluts. That's what's going to happen.
But the girls would watch it too. I think girls watch that show as well.
Because there was a movement in the 80s about, you know, ladettes
That's
and all
right.
this kind
Oh,
of
yeah,
stuff.
without a
But
doubt.
now I think it's...
I know Shane Filan is our special guest. I know apparently does these in the end if you persist. Yeah.
Well,
What do we make of this
I
doll?
just think it's weird. I think
Yeah.
it's weird. It's like having a baby that doesn't pee. You know, or like doesn't want to be nappy trained or something.
Well, I must admit, I must admit,
But what's it going to? I don't know how it's going to. Like, kids get dolls to play with,
Yeah.
and try and relate to them. Why would they have a doll that would teach them not to eat? It just
well, why would you have a doll that teaches how to pee?
no, but it's because kids eventually will learn how to get out of their nappies.
But the
and
same
stuff like
argument,
that,
then
and-
kids will
but
eventually learn to eat.
you're learning to be a mummy. Mostly, let's say most
Right.
of these are girls, aren't they? And the
it's just-
reality is that babies don't always take the food off the spoon, do they?
I know, but I still think it's when kids are that young, everything should be, in a positive way or encouraged. I don't think not teaching them not to eat and turn their head away, because the kids are going to start doing it, and then you'll have other
That's
kids,
right.
smaller kids, that are going to see this baby, and they're going to just start copying the baby, like
Because
a 1-year-old.
Because it's a negative thing that you're seeing.
It's just weird. It's just not. I don't
If-
know.
okay.
Look, if it's going to be a top seller, that's.
If I came
gonna
around and
be a
bought one
shocker to
if
me.
I'd come around and bought one for your little girl, when she was dolly age, would you throw it
It'd
away?
be the last doll on earth I would buy for a baby with that, or for a young kid. Definitely. Eventually give in.
It doesn't
does
eventually give in. But it must be very frustrating for the owner, the child, to play with a doll that won't eat. And
So
maybe
it's like a reverse psychology on the
Yes.
kid. Well, then that is a point.
I am available.
That is a
But
point.
insulting,
But I
by
still.
the way.
You would not go anywhere near my child.
You should come up with dolls. You're wasted, man. You're wasted.
That is so horrible. Could you imagine telling a child, see that doll, that's you, that is. That's not eating. Oh, that's horrible.
See what you do. See what you do to
but
me.
you know, maybe.
And the
maybe.
kid's like, "It's look, Daddy, it won't eat."
Yeah.
I was like, "That's what you
That's
do."
what you're like.
I know, but still, it's still weird, though.
My sister bought
It's
one
not
of
fun, like, it's not
one of
fun.
her
It's horrible.
children.
Different if it's an adult doll. The person would
That's a
understand.
different
but
phone in.
Yeah.
And some of those are definitely anatomically way out there from what I've seen.
My one certainly eats.
Let's take a break. I'm blocking.
Oh my God. Sorry.
I think though. Go on, Shane.
It's a bit expensive, isn't it? Like,
It is a lot of money.
For the people that can't afford it, it's really a lot of pressure on the parents.
Yeah.
You know,
What do you
that
like?
they
What about
can't.
the idea of two playgrounds side by side? The paupers
The really good
playground
one and the really average
and
one.
the little kids, the little tiny. Oh, Mummy,
Well, look, I
have
could
a
see
go.
on another side as well, though, for zip lines and all that kind of stuff, like adventure parks
Yeah.
and stuff like that. That's slightly different because you
Yeah.
have a lot of staff, there's a lot
That's
of
not
safety.
council ground though, is it?
All right, okay. Well, then I think no. I think it's too expensive, and it's very unfair to kind of split it because it's if you have 3 kids like me, it's 72 quid, and then myself and my wife to go is another 65
Yeah.
quid. Like it's 150 quid to go to the playground.
Yeah.
Like I'd
Yeah.
rather put it in the pension. You know. Yeah.
Shane, great to meet you in flesh. Thank you
Cheers,
for
man.
coming along
Thank
this
you.
morning.
Yeah, thanks for
And
having me.
best of luck with the new single, Knee Deep in My Heart. It's
Thank you.
called. It came out on Sunday.